bird, bird. Bird, bird, bird. Hey ladies! So this week I want to talk to you about one of the toughest things that I have had to deal with, or maybe not dealt with at all. Depends on how you look at it. This is our last day in the Bahamas. This is by far the most beautiful place I have ever seen. Already getting there. My view right now is not helping by any means. But the hardest part, as you can tell, is having to say goodbye. And it's not just to the beautiful places that you see, like the landscapes, derelict boats, and you're curious about the story, and you know, the dive spots, the fish, the marine life, it's the people that you meet along the way. And for many of you out there that I have met along the way, I know that I have not actually said any proper goodbyes. There's a reason for that. I don't do well with goodbyes. I've personally lost a lot of people in my life that I held very near and dear to me. It's really hard to say goodbye to fellow cruisers. I know we understand, we get it, to meet somebody and like have this special bond that you can't really share with anybody back on land because they're not out here doing it. But you know, you meet people along the way and they get it. And I think my favorite thing about meeting fellow cruisers is the fact that not once have we ever been asked what we do for a living or what we did for a living. Nobody cares. Out here, that's not what it's about. It's about the experience, the journey, the getting together with like-minded people, and I think that's priceless. Like you can't put a dollar sign on that. I've kept in touch with pretty well everybody I've met along the way, as we have as a whole on Lady K. We've met a lot of great people down there. So it's not just the other cruisers that you meet, and it's not just the sights and the places that you see. It's the people that you meet on the islands. Everybody's smiling, laughing, having a good time, just very laid back. I really hope that, you know, in being here and spending so much time here, that I bring some of that with me, you know. This week on Ladies Aboard, we hop onto SV Gypsy Days to hang out with Tanya and talk about life aboard as a lady in a relationship and why they chose this boat. Welcome! Welcome
you.
to Ladies Aboard!
Welcome to my boat.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me on board. I really appreciate it.
I think one of the best things about our boat that isn't always the case with other boats is she's only 30 feet. She's a 1980 Newport 30. But inside, she feels like a 35 foot or a 38 foot. We have almost an 11-foot beam. So we have a lot of living space in a pretty small boat.
I see this.
Yeah.
I see this. I like this. Mm-hmm. The bed.
Yes. So we actually were sleeping in the V-berth most of the time that we headed down here. And then the cushions in there are from 1980, like the boat. Yeah. And they just got so worn down and awful. Yeah. And we didn't spring for a mattress or anything before we left. So then we're like, well, let's try out the salon. We never eat on the table anyway. And it's been perfect. It's a lot cooler. We have a great hatch that gives us good air. So it's been a lot better. We actually have a piece of plywood that we pull out, and if we're watching a movie, we just put it over our laps as a TV table. Everything on a boat has to have multiple purposes.
Multi-purpose.
Always.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that at all. So, speaking of multi-purpose, What is your favorite multi-purpose item on board?
That's a good question. Probably not necessarily my favorite, but probably our most useful multi-use item is our lantern. So it's a 360 lantern. Pretty much none of our mast wiring works. So we don't have an anchor light, we don't have a steaming light, we don't have any of that stuff.
That explains some things.
Yeah, so the lantern doubles as all of those lights and is just an extra light for us. So we hang it in the cockpit on our mast, or on our boom, sorry, and it serves as our anchor light, and then when we're underway, we just tie it to the mast and it's our steaming light. So that's probably the best just for safety sake. That's multi-use.
What type of lantern is it though? Like, is it like
it's just
an
like
LED?
Yep, it's an LED. Has 360. The batteries last a long time, and it's completely waterproof. So it's out there in storms. It's out there in whatever. Yeah.
I lost my Lucy light. I'm a little sad.
We have one of those too.
I'm a little sad.
Somewhere in the snack stack.
You got the engine bay beneath the stairs.
Exactly.
You got the quarter berth.
We call it the coffin because who would want to sleep in that thing?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
No.
That's where our new fridge thing is.
Hey, us too. Except that's our new fridge. We just got that like 3 weeks ago.
Is it just a fridge?
It can be a fridge or a freezer, but not both.
But not both.
I don't think I'd ever use it as a freezer. We don't have enough power consumption for that. Gypsy Days is our first boat. We had never sailed before we bought her. We didn't know what we wanted in a boat, what we didn't want in a boat. Now that we've been cruising on her for so long, we definitely know what we want in our next boat. But like we're pretty bare bones, like no autopilot. Like I said, half our mast lights don't work. We just got refrigeration. We don't have a chart plot or any of those things that most of us consider like essential on a boat, but you really don't need them. We were very terrified to do our first overnight because we left from Boston, and so we had to go outside of New Jersey because you just can't, it's too shallow to go inland. And that was our first time going in the open ocean. That was our first time doing an overnight sail. That was our first time sailing without the engine overnight too, and dodging crab pots and everything like that. So
those were my favorite.
Yeah, we were very intimidated. But it actually, like, we had a moon. The wind died on us, so we were going like 2 knots. It was useless. And so we didn't get nearly as far as we wanted to, but it was so peaceful to just not have that engine, just look up at the sky, looking up and just seeing stars and moon and no lights around you and just being at peace. Like, it was really nice. However, our second overnight was a little bit different. So we left from the very northern tip of South Carolina out Little Fear, like just past Cape Fear, so Little River, and we did an overnight to Charleston, South Carolina. And the first 12 hours till 3 in the morning were beautiful, like probably one of our best sailing days. And then 3 o'clock hit and we hit the Gulf Stream. Aaron pulls me up, he's like, we got a reef. We had like 20 knots and it was 7 before, within a space of 10 minutes. And we had like gone from nothing to like 3-foot waves in our teeth. And it took us another 12 hours to go, I think it was like 30 miles or something like that to get into Charleston. It was just the worst. And so at that point, it's dark. You can't see where the waves are coming from. You can feel them, but like it's so much easier when you can see what's there.
Yeah.
And so we're just waiting for sunrise, and we finally got it. And then at least we could see it. But then by then, the waves were crashing over the bow. It was like,
of course they are.
It was like 0 degrees Celsius,
they?
34, whatever it is for you weird Fahrenheit people. And we were just soaked and drenched and so tired already, and we still had to get into it was just awful. We play to our strengths, which is what we like to say. So I have a more gentle touch, let's say, on the helm. So if we ever have to pick up a mooring, if we ever have to go into dock, I'm the one that brings the boat in.
Okay.
We also don't have a windlass, so Aaron is much stronger than me, clearly. So he is the one that pulls up the anchor, and I'm at the helm when that happens, and same when we drop the anchor. Yeah. So I know how to do all those things, and he knows how to dock the boat. But we don't practice it that often because he's so much better at that, and I'm so much better at this. Right. So why make it difficult? Like, it's good. It's definitely important. To each of you to know.
We need to know
how to do the other person's job
on the off chance.
And like when we're underway, we both take turns helming all the time. We both take turns navigating. We both take turns planning routes. All of that stuff. I feel like we can call ourselves sailors now.
Now.
And like I have a bit of
Now.
imposter syndrome. Like I still like downplay what we're able to do, but we're able to do like amazing things now. And we've only been underway for less than a year. You know, like we've made it over 2,000 nautical miles. And yeah,
Likewise.
we've motored a lot of that, but we've sailed a lot of that too. And like we've learned so much. And we know our boats so well now, and it's such an awesome feeling to just know what she wants and where she needs to go to get there, you know?
Exactly.
There's not like an equation.
There's nothing
Yeah.
out there to tell you how you're supposed to live on a boat.
No.
With a person.
No. And everyone is completely different. Like
so different.
I'm sure that some couples we know would kill each other within a week, even though they love each other.
They love each other.
They need their space, and some couples would just instantly go and just cross an ocean and be perfectly fine and do this for the next 15 years. Everyone is so different, and everyone's needs are so different. With it as a couple, but within a couple too. Like, for example, with Aaron and I, Aaron is very social. He loves to hang out with people. He loves to entertain people. He's like that big personality, and I'm much more reserved. Like, I love to hang out with people, but after 3 nights of like hanging out, I'm like, okay, I need a night just for me. And we know that about each other, and so we allow that within our relationship. Like, if he wants to go hang out for like 4 nights in a row, that's fine. I'm gonna be here reading my book. I'll be on my laptop. I'll be doing whatever. Go have fun. And I think you just have to, especially in such a small space where you're always together, the only way you can get away from each other is by one single dinghy.
Yes.
You have to respect what other people need and what other people want at given times, and not take offense if I want to spend time with just me and I'm like, get out of here. He's like, okay, cool, guys night, bye. You know? And you gotta, I think it's just important to have that understanding within each other as a couple. I think in some ways, like, the highs are a bit higher on a boat and the lows are a bit lower, because you're especially like for us as newbies, completely new to this, we're learning everything together. So the times we get those little wins, like, it's such a huge thing. Like, we just celebrate together, like, oh my god, we just did that for the first time, and we did it together, and we did awesome. But then other times it's like you've been stuck on the boat for 4 days, you haven't been able to get off because of a storm, and you're just like cooped up and you're feeling antsy, and you take that out on the only other person around, who happens to be your significant other. So it certainly has different challenges. But I agree. I don't think it's worse or better on a boat. I think it's just it's a different life. There's different challenges. You're not stressed out by work anymore. You're stressed out by the wind not cooperating. You want to go here, but the wind won't let you.
The wind's not letting you.
You know, or you wanted to go do that thing, but there's a million freaking people already there, and So it is. It's different. It's different stresses. It's different accomplishments. It's different environments, but you're still you, and you're still together, so.
I agree. Would you give it up?
No. I'm a traveler at heart, and whether that's on a boat, on a bus, on a whatever. So we bought the boat in June on the Hard in Rhode Island. We had a ship to Boston, well, just outside Boston, and we kept her on the Hard, did the bottom work, did a couple things like replaced LED lights and stuff that we thought we'd need for living aboard.
All the necessities.
Yes, definitely. Yes. And then we splashed her, put her in the water November 3rd. In Boston. Moved to the marina.
That's exciting.
And then lived on her that whole winter. So that was November 2017. So the first time we saw the boat in the water was the day we splashed her, 6 months after we bought her. Got to the marina, and then just lived on her for that whole winter. And then
in the water.
Yep. So they put a little frame and then shrink wrap Boston. And it was a tough winter. Yeah.
That's cold there.
Spring didn't even come till May that year, I think. So at the marina you have to take the shrink wrap off on April 15th, and it snowed that day.
Of course it did.
So that was fun. But yeah. But then so we had this boat, we had been living on it for about 5 months at that point, but we had never taken her out. Like, we had a captain drive her over the first time.
Yeah.
So we'd never taken her out. We didn't actually take her out for her very first motor or sail or anything until July 1st, 2018.
Oh, wow.
And then we didn't take her out by ourselves. We had a good friend helping us, teaching us how to sail, teaching us how to do everything on the boat, essentially.
Yeah.
So we didn't take her out by ourselves until July 27th that year. and then we left Boston September 2nd. Yeah.
But how many times did you take her out between the friends helping?
Maybe
and...
5. Maybe 5 times.
Oh.
Never without the engine off. By ourselves. With our friend, we sailed because he's a proper sailor.
Yeah.
But by ourselves,
we always had the engine
running and practicing. Yeah. So like
wow.
maybe 5 times that summer. So we were similar to you in that we had a 3-year plan of like, well, we'll have good jobs in Boston. We'll buy this boat. She'll be our learner boat. She's a bit beat up. We don't mind if she hits a dock or something. Yeah. Like little cosmetic damage is fine. She's small enough that we can handle and learn. Yeah. And so we planned to spend 3 years learning and then going to sail and upgrading to a bigger boat and then going to do a trip like this.
Yeah. And
then Aaron found out in April of 2018 that his company was dissolving. So he didn't have a job as of August 31st. So we're like, all right, well, we'll take it as a sign. And so 3 years turned into 3 months. And so we just spent the entire summer, we were still working full time, trying to learn how to sail and boat, trying to get, sorry, Aaron's coming home, trying to get the boat ready, like installing solar panels, getting extra batteries, getting all the stuff that we thought we needed and ended up needing.
Yeah.
And then we left. So literally like barely any experience at all. We actually, like, because when we first bought Gypsy Days, we had this 3-year plan to live aboard just as a way to save money and to learn. So we bought her as a live aboard first and then a sailing boat second. So we chose a boat that had such good space for us and the dog. We chose a boat with less stairs. That the dog can easily get up and down.
Easy.
Yeah. So we chose a boat for more, like I said, we didn't sail. We didn't know what to look for. Like, we knew stuff was old, but we're like, it's probably fine. And so that was our first priority, was just living aboard. And so that's why we chose her specifically, was because of the size.
It's spacious. Mm-hmm. It's good. Like, you don't... I'm jealous.
Girls run this world. Beyonce taught me that.
Big thank you to my first 2 patrons, David and Jody. I love you guys. Thank you so much. This Heine's for you. I'm just kidding. I found it on the ground. I'm going to throw it in the garbage. But when I get one, it's for you. So that's it for this week's episode of Ladies Aboard. Thanks for tuning in. Always appreciated. If you enjoy the content, hit the thumbs up. Definitely helps. If you don't, well, please leave me some comments below. Let me know what you do want me to talk about, or you don't want me talking about, or I don't know, give me a little push or shove to point me in the direction that you want to see. Like, I'm not doing this channel for anybody but you. So help me out, sisters. And of course, if you're enjoying yourself or you want to see what I get myself into next, make sure you hit that subscribe button.